waiting to interview somebody and I had to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb because I am so afraid that I will get a call during this interview and my Apple Watch will go crazy and destroy everything. Well, thank goodness I turned off my notifications because my phone blew up during that interview and it would have been a complete disaster if my watch had started buzzing and ringing and going crazy during the interview. That would have been really unprofessional. The watch does give you notifications to tell you to stand as part of reaching your stand goal. So it has made me stand up and kind of do weird dancing, standing arm movements to qualify for that stand goal. So I guess it has impacted my life, but just not in the way they probably intended. Today was Thanksgiving, and I went over to my grandparents' house with my family and showed them the Apple Watch. The most interesting part, I think, was the photographing. Basically what happens is the watch allows you to see it as a viewer from the actual camera. So the watch doesn't have a camera in itself, so you can't take pictures from the watch, but my grandfather was actually able to take a picture while I was holding the phone and he was having the watch as a little remote to press the button so that there's not like a timer or anything. I also gave it to my sisters to try out. That was kind of like a fun little thing we did on Thanksgiving, which was really actually a pretty cool feature. So the past couple days I've gotten pretty used to the Apple Watch. It's kind of lost its sense of awesome, like, oh, this is so cool, just because I've gotten so used to it being part of like my life. But the two things that I do have to say, one, I've started to get ghost vibrations on my wrist, because normally the Apple Watch, when it sends you a notification, it's either a beeping sound or it's a vibration. And now I've gotten like ghost vibrations on my wrist. So it's like, okay, my like arm is spasming. The second thing is that the rubber is actually starting to kind of aggravate my skin sometimes. I don't know if I'm putting it on too tight or what. I've tried loosening it, but sometimes it just rubs up against my arm and gives like, not a rash, but just like an irritation where it's just like the rubber is weird. So today the Apple Watch really did save me. I got a couple of calls, and normally I have my phone on vibrate, so I either miss them or I by chance get to accept them. But this time the Apple Watch basically had a freak out with like vibrating all over the place, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And it ended up being the call. So I was able to like run over to my phone that was like across the room and finally get the call. So back at QU, it's been a little bit weird just because people have been, not a lot of people, but some people have been looking over and been like, you have the Apple Watch? Oh! And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm not a spoiled brat, I promise. This is for a class experiment. I've been like, deny, deny, deny. So it's been a couple days since I returned the watch, and I have to say, I really miss it. Despite all the complaining I did, I really, really miss it. It's like having a friend like buzzing on your wrist being like, hey, like just so you know I'm here, like remember to stand, get your exercise. Oh, by the way, here's a bit of news. Oh, look at this Instagram picture. It's like a friend that's like suddenly gone away, and it really creeps me out how much it's like I think about it. I had to return it an hour later. I was like, oh no, where is it? I really miss it. It's so weird and I hate it, but that's my week with the Apple Watch. So hopefully this helps you decide whether or not you want the Apple Watch.